you're watching this, you've probably seen this guy named Nik Setting, and you've probably watched some of his videos. It might not seem like it from the outside because he's only getting a few thousand views per video. He's actually secretly pulling in over $100,000 per month in organic revenue from his YouTube channel alone. And on his channel, he has only 19,000 subscribers with 142 videos, 750,000 views overall along his whole channel. And all of those views are getting funneled down to his coaching offer where people book in a call with him, and he turns his YouTube viewers into high ticket clients for his coaching offer. Which is why today I'm about to show you exactly how you can reverse engineer his exact YouTube strategy that he's been able to make over $100,000 a month from into your own channel so you could replicate his success. Now you're probably wondering, how is this even possible? Nik Setting only gets a few thousand views per video. He's not making that much money from his content just looking views alone. But this is where the first thing actually came into play. It's because Nik targeted high quality views. And how he targeted this high quality viewership is by having a super specific target audience. So as you can see, the average views he's getting on his channel is around 8,000 views. And if you take a look and actually watch his videos and you go through his content, you'll notice that all his videos are value oriented, education oriented, and solution oriented. So as opposed to targeting a mass audience and a bigger viewership, Nik's whole strategy, this is the core of it. He's targeting a super specific audience. And the reason for that is because the more specific his audience is, the more likely he's going to be able to get a lot more deals closed with a minimal amount of views. And a flip example of this would be Iman Gaji, right? So his target audience is so huge. He pretty much targeted anyone trying to make money online, which is a huge amount of people from ages 15 all the way up to 30 years old, right? And with his audience and his brand, he's pushing to get more views each video because he has a larger audience. That is what is more ideal for his type of pipeline and for his type of sales funnel to get his viewers to actually convert into buyers for his services. And contrary to someone like Iman, for example, Nik Setting only makes sure his content does these three things. Nik is not trying to entertain his audience, and he is not trying to appeal to a mass amount of people by creating content that people are just entertained by. That is why this whole strategy is so important from learning this specific thing, is we're not trying to build a YouTube channel to entertain people. All he has done was targeted a super specific audience and making sure every single video he makes checks these three boxes. And one way he's done this alone is just from the packaging of his videos. So as you can see, Nik's rule on titles is actually never to try to appeal to the broadest audience in his niche. He only crafts titles that are specific problems that his current target audience is trying to find on YouTube using the search bar. So if you look at some of his videos, this video is a super specific title because only people who are looking to sell B2C info products with Instagram ads are actually going to appeal to it. And again, the whole reason why Nik actually went with this approach is because to have the most specific target audience, it is going to require the least amount of views possible to actually get these people converted into your offer. And if you're B2B, this type of super niche channel is what's going to work best for you. But if you're B2C, usually you're going to need a YouTube channel that has a lot broader of an audience and less specific target audience, because selling your service and offer requires more eyeballs on your content for that stuff to get seen and to push your brand, as opposed to this super specific stuff where Nik is able to get 10K views on a single video. And he's able to make over $20,000 from that video alone, because out of these 10,000 viewers, a very high percentage of them are the exact type of people he wants on his content that could actually book on a call with him and close working with him. So now you're probably wondering, how do I get high quality views? And how do I craft content that attracts a super specific audience so that my view quality could be as high as possible, meaning that it will take the least amount of views possible to close clients and make huge return on investment? And that comes from making content using the YouTube high ticket funnel. And this is the exact funnel Nik Setting actually uses himself. So as you can see, every single video that Nik makes on his channel falls into three different categories. So his videos are either top of funnel videos, middle of funnel videos, or bottom of funnel videos. And each of these three categories in the funnel serves a very different purpose to each other. So for example, your top of funnel content is going to be the coldest audience because you're going to be attracting the largest audience in your niche, and not all of them are actually going to be qualified or working with you. And this is super important because once we have top of funnel viewers that are a cold audience, we build middle of funnel content to funnel them down to, and this is where your viewers could start to get warm perform and the lead quality from these actual views starts to actually convert. Because the whole goal with top of funnel content is to attract initial eyes and then push them down this funnel, where the more and more they go down, the hotter and warmer they get to working with you, because naturally they're going to trust you more after watching these videos. And each of these videos obviously serves a different purpose. So again, top of funnel content is the largest audience, and the whole reason for this type of content is to get eyeballs. And it comes middle of funnel content, which is going to be a warm audience, and these types of videos are mainly specific problems you're solving for your target audience, specific problems that they might have, and dropping a lot of value and showing them how to solve their problems pretty much for free. And at the very bottom, these are where the leads are going to be super hot, which is bottom of funnel content, which are basically just case study videos and videos basically showcasing that your offer works and has helped other clients in the past get the same exact results your target audience is looking for. And some examples of this type of content on Nik's actual channel is how I made 2.7 million from a niche audience, sell to rich people. And as you can see, this video appeals to a large audience because a lot of people in his niche want to make millions of dollars from selling to rich people, right? From their actual business, from a niche channel. And another example is I took 9 clients on a $50,000 a week retreat to Dubai. And again, this type of content literally applies to anyone who has an agency or a service-based business. And an example of middle of funnel content that Nik made was how I managed 30 high-ticket clients in 15 hours a week or less. So this video is literally solving a very specific problem for his ICP and his target audience, which is how to actually manage clients in a short time frame. And this is a problem that his audience runs into often, which is why he's solving this specific problem. And as you can see, this type of video is obviously going to get less views than his top of funnel content because the audience that he's targeting here is much smaller and less people actually have this very, very specific problem. And an example of bottom of funnel content is right here, where Nik is pretty much exposing his content ecosystem with a client, right? And this is building a ton of social proof because he's showing and going through all of it with a client who he's worked with himself, which is convincing the audience that whatever he is selling works because the client went from where they started to where they are now, which is a huge improvement. So that is bottom of funnel content. And the whole point of this content, again, is literally just to build social proof for yourself, showing client testimonials and client case studies, and just visually telling your audience that your solution is the perfect solution for them. And this exact same funnel we implemented for one of my clients. So this is actually his second channel. He has 2 channels. One is a broad channel and one is a niche channel. So on his niche channel, you can see he's only getting 1,000 to a few hundred views every single video, but working alongside his broad channel, he's able to make over $50,000 cash collected every single month from his YouTube channels completely organically. And that's proof that Nik's system works, because whenever we implemented it, we were able to close thousands of dollars per video with only a few hundred views on our content. So if you want us to implement all of this that I'm talking about right now, so you can turn your viewers into high-paying clients, click the first link in the description and you can book a completely free 30-minute call with me where we will discuss everything about your channel. But now that we know the exact funnel that Nik actually used on his channel and how he was able to make so much money from YouTube organic with only a few thousand views every single video, but what actually separates him from other business owners using this exact same funnel in the back end of their YouTube channel? Because other people are using this strategy. And this is one of the biggest things that actually contributed to his success from his small YouTube channel. And that is, he didn't chase high production content. So unlike Iman Gaji, where his whole brand pretty much stemmed from creating super high quality animations and super high quality content, same with guys like Dan Martell who are super polished and high production, Nik actually chose a completely different route. His content was raw. He would literally hop on a Loom, kind of like what I'm doing right now, and just show a Google Doc and pretty much just go over and talk about it. Same with Myra board, sort of like what I'm doing right now. His content was super raw, which made his audience be able to get to really know who he is, and also just not fall for the high production guru vibe that other guys in the space were doing. So he completely differentiated himself while also having a benefit there by getting to build a real connection with his audience with no editing, no super high production animations. So his viewer base understood the type of person he was and started to like his personality. And I've learned this all myself because I actually used to previously be a video editor a few years ago when I went into this online money space. And I used to focus on making videos that were super high high production for clients and very, very well editing. But what I've realized is you do not need high production to get clients from YouTube. That is a misconception that a ton of people in the space have. They think that they need to have super high production type of content to be able to outcompete everyone. But sometimes whenever you actually truly think to yourself what your target audience wants, sometimes depending on your target audience, people want just like Nik's type of content. They want super raw content and pretty much just you giving them the solution with no BS laid out right in front of them without flashy animations, just a raw video that solves their problems. And this worked because Nik actually had a commanding presence in every single video that he made. So any chance he got after bringing up strategies he's used, he also brought up who he is and why you should actually listen to him and what the strategies he's bringing up resulted in for previous people that he's worked with, which adds layers of trust to his personal brand. At the time he started making this raw type of Miro content or the Google Doc sort of style, not that many people in his niche were using this format. He stood out and created a blue ocean for himself and for his content that was some type of content that his target audience has never seen before, because they were used to high production video like Iman Godzi. But whenever Nik created his channel and started making raw content, it was something completely new that nobody in his niche saw before. And this all ties in because his target audience doesn't actually need hyper editing to digest the content and understand what is being said so they could implement it into their own business. So what you could implement is you first want to understand what your target audience is and what type of content they would prefer. Because if you could make raw type of content, sort of like Nik did, it's just going to be a lot less time investment, and you're also going to be able to show your personality with raw no cuts, as opposed to something that's going to be super hyper edited and high production that just seems more polished, and it's going to be a little bit harder for someone to trust you. Whereas if you're talking raw, just like I am now, you get to really get a feel for someone, unlike you would if you watched a super polished video. And this exact system Nik implemented using the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content style, targeting a super specific audience in the actual packaging of his videos, and creating raw type of content that his niche has never seen before, differentiating himself from everybody in his niche. His viewers turned into leads that were 100% confident, pre-sold, and ready to get to work whenever they booked a call with Nik. Meaning that whenever they hopped on the call, Nik did not have to push for a sale. It was pretty much given to him because his channel did all of the hard lifting for him. Which means his close rate absolutely exploded, and he was able to close so many deals because his audience was already aware of him. They knew exactly who he was. They knew the results he's done for other people, and he established himself as the authority of people running to work with him instead of him having to chase people and try to get them on a sale. So if you were to steal 3 things from Nik's playbook, what you should steal is, first, content compounds forever. So every single video that you make, you can't be thinking one video at a time. You have to create a channel that over the course of 20, 30, 40 videos, each single video works together in some way and plays a little bit of a different role. You shouldn't be going in with the thought process of, I hope this video gets me a client. You should be going in with the mentality that I'm going to create 20, 30, 40 videos that all work together, because you will never be able to build a channel if you're thinking independent videos. Each video has to work with each other in some way to create that ecosystem where viewers are able to get trapped into your content and actually get to know you, like you, trust you, so that they could end up working with you. And the second thing, quality views are going to beat the volume of views every single day. There are some business creators getting 5 times the amount of views Nik gets, but they're not able to actually monetize their audience as well as him because he's so good at knowing what his specific audience is looking for, and he caters his whole channel for that person. Because there's no point in getting 100,000 views if you only close one deal from it, when you could be getting 1,000 views and closing still one deal, right? It is much harder to get 100,000 views on a video than it is 1,000 views. And that's why chasing the highest quality views possible instead of the number of views is going to be the most important thing for your channel if you are B2B. And third, every single video that you make should have its own purpose in your YouTube sales pipeline. So you shouldn't all be making top of funnel content, you shouldn't all be making middle of funnel content, and you shouldn't all be making bottom of funnel content. You need to have a little bit of everything, because I've seen so many business owners where their whole channel is literally just testimonials or client interviews, when that stuff is good, but if you don't have the initial audience to funnel them down to that type of content, it's never going to get that many views, and you're never going to actually build an audience of your target audience who are coming back and watching more and more of your videos. So you have to create all of those three types of content, and they all work together. Like I said, for number one, each video serves a purpose, and you can't have the mentality of one video is going to get you sales. You need to think 10, 20, 30, 40 videos all working together. And if you follow Nik's playbook into your B2B channel, implementing this will allow you to use YouTube as your main lead source. So you'll be getting calls booked without needing any cold outreach, paid ads, or any other type of acquisition method, because YouTube is king at developing a personal brand. And no other platform on the planet is going to build as much trust with your audience and viewer to creator relationship as YouTube does. But the thing is, YouTube is very complicated. So I've worked on my client's channel for years and years and years, and we've made videos that have done well, videos that have done poorly. And there's just a lot that comes with this game. It's not just about your sales pipeline and your audience. You also have to master ideation. You have to know how to package your videos. You got to know how to write titles, how to actually script your videos in an engaging way to take a viewer from the start of the video all the way to the end of your videos. So if you want to learn everything A through Z to save months and years of your time trying to figure it out all yourself, watch this next video on screen right now so you can learn how to make $100,000 from YouTube completely organically, all laid out for you in one video. I'll see you there.